Welcome to First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. I'm your host, James Gardner, certified athletic therapist, certified strength and conditioning specialist, yoga instructor, human being. This platform, for the pros, by the pros, anybody in the performance space, and beyond. Welcome here to share in the stories of professionals, experiences, journeys, learning along the way. It's a platform to connect, to network, and to be a part of a community that cares, with conversations that matter, experiences that resonate, and generate ideas, thought-provoking, organic dialogue, passionate pros. Brought to you as always by First Star Therapy, Mobility Tape, Epic, and Benchmark Athletics, in association with the Canadian Athletic Therapists Association. It's First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. Welcome to First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy roundtable brought to you by First Star Therapy. I'm your host, James Gardner, and this is a platform for the pros, by the pros. Passionate pros, organic dialogue. Let's chat. Thanks for listening. Let's roll.
Time, first pitch, as you will. This is Let's Chat, an athletic therapy roundtable. This is session 15. Ground rules first before we get to our special guest this evening. Ground rules, this is being recorded for all intents and purposes of saving the world, one conversation at a time. And for the fact of going back in time, if you so choose, to watch it over and over again, as I do on a regular basis. The quiz is going to be posted at the end here for those of you that are looking to get CEUs for the live version of this chat. So pay attention, and then I'll post that at the end, and then away we go. I think that's it for ground rules. Let me get to the intro. George Poulis is our guest this evening. George is entering his third season as the head athletic trainer and director of player health for the Atlanta Braves. He spent the previous 18 years with the Toronto Blue Jays. Prior to the Blue Jays, George was an athletic trainer in the San Diego Padres minor league system for 10 years. George got his first experience with professional sports in athletic training as an intern in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. A Cleveland native, George earned his undergraduate degree from Baldwin Wallace College and earned his master's degree from the University of Alabama. He worked his way up through the Padres minor league system with stops in Waterloo, Iowa, Wichita, Kansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Mobile, Alabama, and Las Vegas, Nevada. At the conclusion of the 1998 minor league season, George assisted the San Diego Padres athletic training staff during the 1998 playoffs and the World Series. During the offseason, George and his wife Jenny live in Florida with their three daughters, Lainey, Evie, and Nikki. And that is a very brief summary of a very storied career. And I'll just give a brief rundown of how I got to know George and where this has gone. And I was going back, George, through it. And it's been 15 years since I met you for the first time as an intern down in Florida with the Blue Jays. And I couldn't believe that looking back in time. But George is a mentor of mine, and he has been more than a mentor over the years, both working with him and since parting ways. He is the epitome of consistency. I learned a lot of lessons from George, both spoken and unspoken. Have a ton of respect for George, always, and always accessible, always consistent in his mannerisms and his answers, and his professionalism. And really happy to have you here, George. So thank you so much for taking time to be here. If you just want to say hi to everybody, and then we'll get a roll on this thing.
All righty. Thanks a lot, James. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. I'm looking forward to answering some questions and mixing in with you guys. I actually just coming up as an athletic trainer, young athletic trainer, I would die for opportunities like this, to be honest. the few times I got to speak with professional athletic trainers, I just asked a ton of questions, probably stupid questions, but I just have always been that person that just, while I'm here and while I'm blessed enough to have this position, I just want to be able to open up and be able to make myself available as much as I can to especially students. You guys are sitting in the same seats that I was coming up. So there's a lot of things that I think about when it comes to speaking to students and possibly touching at least one person. It's all worth it, you know.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, George, and everybody for being here. There's a lot of feed forward, I guess, before you got on here. Just a lot of people really enthusiastic and jacked up to have you here and just to listen to you speak. What a career you've had, but what a strange time this is. I guess this would be like game whatever in the season at this point after a long and grueling spring training, and things are different. You were just mentioning, it's been nice to be at home with the family and do all those kinds of things. Have you watched Tiger King yet or no?
Well, of course. I have 3 daughters, and they said the whole world is watching this thing. So I'm thinking, what's this thing all about? And yeah.
All right. So we have a running scoreboard of yeses and nos. So that one draws it back to you're the 7th yes. We have 8 no's, so it's pretty much down the middle at this point, if my math is anywhere close to correct.
Yeah. Hopefully no one judges me by that.
Everybody, yeah, this is it. Half the people just left the room, and the other half are ready to hear your take on Tiger King.
Okay, there's 4 people left. Okay, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, you got it. Well, I think Frosty was a hard yes too. So it's like that. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We've had a couple of your proteges on here, including Frosty and Boone and a lot of people who know you that that you've worked with or impacted just through your travels in Toronto and in baseball and everybody who's reached out to you. So it's amazing that you would put yourself out there and allow us access to you during these times. Just to chat. It's been a massively impactful career. Maybe you just do you mind just talking to us about where it started, how it started, and then and then what keeps you going now? Maybe just to your way in and you get to see a lot of things and have seen. So that might be a good starting point.
Yeah. So as James was saying, I've been in professional baseball for 31 years now. 21 of those seasons have been in the major leagues. 18 of those years I was with the Toronto Blue Jays. 10 of those years I was with the San Diego Padres, and now I am. I left Toronto and went to Atlanta for the past 3 years. So seen a lot of things. 10 years in the minor leagues really was good for me. All my years as a student was very good. I failed a lot. I succeeded a lot, and boy, I'll tell you, those failures really prepare you for the next event. You could make a poor decision today, or make a decision that you feel is poor, and then tomorrow will be the next day, but will be a new day, and you may handle that exact same situation differently based on what happened to you at a previous event. But what I'm getting at is, no matter what happens, I don't care if it's a hamstring injury, I don't care if it's a severe potential C-spine fracture on a very serious injury, maybe somebody's unconscious, something like that. You will always look back and always reevaluate yourself, and you'll always be real critical of yourself when there's other people that will come up to you and say, "Hey, man, great job, great job going through it." But in your own mind, I think it's important to just reevaluate yourself on a daily basis. Like I said, not tooting horns, but I've just been at it for a long time, and the self-evaluation is huge for athletic trainers, athletic therapists coming up. started playing baseball in college and got hit in the wrist with a pitching machine. They took me to see the athletic trainer, and I just thought it was really cool the way he evaluated my wrist, got me to the doctor for X-rays and things like that, and from that moment on, they had openings for student athletic therapists, athletic trainers, and I just started helping out and just went from there. So once I got to be junior in college, I started getting the itch. Good friend of mine, mentor of mine, athletic trainer, told me, "Hey, what are you going to do?" I was having dreams at night, sleeping. I remember telling my mom and my dad, "Hey, I'm really worried. I'm getting close to graduating. I'm in my junior year, and where am I going to get a job? I want to grow up. I don't want to be in school forever. I want to start making some money and be able to pay for my own apartment, my own rent. If I want to go to the movies, just pay for that. My own car, stuff like that." And I just didn't want to have to rely on my mom and dad giving me money and supporting me. So that was really burning inside of me. And that's when I kind of woke up, and at some point you're going to have to make a decision in your life to take that step, to step out of being a young adult to a responsible adult, and know that you need to step up. Okay. And I have 3 daughters, 24, 22, and my youngest just turned 20. And I talk to them about that the same way that I'm talking to you too. So I guess this applies to life too. So, but I'm just talking about myself for my career coming up here. So
yeah, no.
I do have this little PowerPoint. If I can share the screen, I can run through it. I have a bunch of pictures on there, but if you're not ready for that yet, if you want to do some questions, I can keep going.
Yeah, no. I think diving into that is great. It's a great little segue. You can jump in there. You talk about moving from sort of young adulthood to responsible adulthood. I'm still waiting for that to happen. So I appreciate the nudge again on that one. I think I received that one a few times along the way. So many good points. And you talk about learning from mistakes, and had a good friend of mine, a colleague as well, a sports chiropractor in the Toronto area and he talked about, the enemy of success is immediate success, or the enemy of progress even is immediate success. And making mistakes is where we gain the most knowledge. And, you make them and then you look back on them and you try not to beat yourself up. You've already made an impact in the first however many minutes we've been on here. So feel free to jump into that slideshow. Everything you've said so far really lines up with a lot of the things we've talked about, but for young practitioners as well as people who have been in the field for a number of years, this stuff all resonates for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Pull it up. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think there should be, right, James, a thing that says share screen somewhere.
Yeah, you should have it down at the.
Oh, I see it there. Yeah, I do see it. Okay. Ready? One moment here. Share screen. Okay. Desktop 1, I believe, right?
It should be, yeah. When you populate it, it'll just be it should show up. Yeah, if it's on your desktop, that should be the one.
Okay, open system preferences. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, if you populate it in like your in your toolbar or whatever, like if you have it pulled up, it should select it automatically when you do share screen. It'll show you a bunch of different pictures and it'll show you a picture of that slideshow.
Oh, it says I have to grant access in my preferences. So I'll just see if that pops up real quick. Zoom USA. Yeah, there it is. Want to be able to record the content. Okay. You see it now?
Nope, still you. Which is good. It's just not a slideshow,
Yeah. It says sign off here. Should I click that one? Leave Zoom. I'm kidding.
Yeah, leave Zoom quickly. This is the
Yeah.
the technological study in this whole thing is the growing part. I don't know the system very well, so I mean, if you can pull it up, pull it up. Otherwise, what you can do is just flip it to me if you want an email, and I can pull it up.
Yeah, that's what I'll do, James. I'll send it to you because it's not. I don't know what's going on. I can call my daughter in here to figure it out probably in 1 minute. I apologize.
That's fine.
It's coming right now.
That's fine. I just sent my email there as the one that you emailed me from. While George is pulling that up or emailing that to me, I'm just going to go back in time, and I pulled up one slide, and George had no idea I was going to
Oh boy.
to pull this up. No, it's funny because you talk about making mistakes, and you talked about what you do today, and then looking back on it tomorrow and being your harshest critic. And I had no idea you were going to go there, but I'll just do this because this was the one slide that I pulled up that I said, okay, if I'm going to talk about one thing, this is it right here. And it was more geared towards the art and science of creating a dynamic working experience. But this is like this is a little bit out there in terms of the reading. This isn't necessarily an athletic therapy or an athletic training text by any means, but it's talking about testing ideas and experiment and observation and rejecting the ones that fail and following the evidence where it takes you and questioning everything. So not on the exact same lines, but definitely understanding that it takes experimentation in the workplace. It takes experimentation as you go through your education and life. And when you fail, you just throw that away, and then you move on and follow the path that works, or follow the path that makes the most sense. So I don't know. It just seems to be some sort of dynamic timing. I just read this last night, and I was like, oh, George is coming on tomorrow. This is one to talk on for sure.
Yeah, I always love the one. I can't remember who said it. Lorianne might know, but it's if you don't ever fail, you never had the guts to really put yourself out there and try. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, of course. But
yeah,
that was awesome. But because I think that's huge, and the biggest thing that we look for in an athletic therapist, athletic trainer is basically somebody who's not afraid to get their hands dirty. I've used the term with Lorianne many times. I know James has heard it. Being a dirtbag. That term in baseball is just somebody who just doesn't care about being nervous. Puts that all behind him or her, and just jumps into the task and at hand and is not afraid. We've all been in situations where we have to evaluate a shoulder. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through these names here. Okay, I see Kathy, Steve, Nikki, Scott, Mackenzie, right? I'm going through all these names. If I picked out one of you guys right now, could you stand up and show me how you would evaluate a shoulder, how you would evaluate a knee? If I asked you to point right to your ulnar collateral ligament or your flexor pronator mass, right? Could you guys point to that right now? Some people are very threatened by that, but others want that. Others want to be challenged, and I think being challenged as a student is huge. When we have interns, we do a stressful ankle taping. We do a stressful shoulder elbow evaluation type thing, and we ask them to take us through their shoulder and elbow evaluation, and it usually ends up being just okay, not great, but it's all over the place. But once you sit them down and form that base history, observation, palpation, excuse me, active and passive ranges of motion, muscle testing, special tests, and then you arrive at your conclusion. Once you get that base, that's going to be with you. It's going to be in your soul. It's going to be in your mind forever. And you're going to use that for the rest of your career. I use it today. It's because I had a professor that worked with me one-on-one, and I remember evaluating my grandmother before my big test. I remember taping my grandmother. I remember just doing everything to just kind of sharpen my skills. And I just felt bulletproof going into my exam. And sometimes it's somebody can maybe say you're cocky, or maybe someone's jealousy or something like that. But boy, I'll tell you, going into that exam, and which also transfers over to the way that you do your job as well. Man, you go in bulletproof. Do what you know. If you don't know it, don't do it. If you know it a little bit, I wouldn't do it. Learn it real good, get that base good, and then branch off. So.
Yeah, these were real life scenarios for me as an intern that didn't know much, and still in my undergrad, and I'd done a couple years, played the game a little bit, and walked in the training room, and this was one of them. You know, it was you, and it was all the minor league trainers, and it wasn't to intimidate me, but it was very much like, what do you know about the shoulder? Just take us through a shoulder exam right now. And it never expressed that format before, or experienced that before. And what a wide, just an eye-opening experience, you know, sort of freeze up and say, oh my gosh, I really don't know as much as I thought I knew. But at the same time, to have that sort of that pressure system and everybody there to help you with it more than anything else. It wasn't a matter of you trying to prove, look, you don't know anything. It was more, let's see everybody help you through this. And it turned into a nice little get to know you kind of session too, which was really, really cool. And you talk about other lessons that have stuck with you. I've already told multiple stories about my time with you guys on here, one of which was the dugout. And you said, first day I was in the dugout at the far end. And you just kind of walked over and said, what are you thinking about right now? And you know, you go through this, I think, with your interns all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And just asking, what are you thinking about right now? And it's nice to be in awe a little bit, and it's nice to be here and all of those things. But here's what I want you to sort of, here's what I'm thinking. And maybe just take us through what you're thinking about on a regular basis. Worst case scenario, right? Prepare for the worst. And then if it doesn't happen, that's gravy. But if it does, you're ready for it. I think those are all hugely valuable lessons.
Yeah. So can you tell me again, James, how many are the students juniors? Are they new in the program? Are they
that are on here?
Well, yeah.
So there's a mix, George. There are some practicing professionals for anywhere from 0 to 3 years. There's a few on here that have been practicing for 10 plus years, and then there are some students that are fresh out of school. So you have the whole gambit. You have I'm just going through the list right now. There is a fairly large York University contingent. There's some Sheridan people. There's the head athletic trainer down here at the University of the Bahamas is on here. RMC, one of the universities in Canada. There's Saskatchewan. I mean, you have people from all different ranges. And some non-practitioners as well mixed in the group. But it's kind of a nice wide range. And I don't think it matters. I think these lessons we all need to hear on a regular basis from somebody with such a hugely deep and you know, as prestige goes in the athletic training world, prestigious career, you know? Yeah.
Great. I see that email is not sending. It says too large. So what I was going to do is I just texted my daughter to come in here and help me do that. If you can, we time out just 1 second here?
Yeah, that's fine. You go ahead.
Okay.
You can just turn your video off if you want, or you can, who knows, she might be in her pajamas or something. You turn it off. And this is the Stu McGill. Stu McGill was on the NSCA Great Lakes. Oh, you got it. I think it says you started sharing your screen anyway. But it's a black screen. Anyway, Stu McGill had his daughter on as his helper in the NSCA Great Lakes Regional Conference, and she was doing all his computer work for him, and it was amazing. It was just like the dynamic was great, and there we go. Hey, you got it. I don't even know if you had help or not, George, but I think you did. You're up and running.
Yeah, I got it. Hey, how do I turn this thing off then? So when I'm done with it, just stop sharing. Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Evan.
Hey, that's why Frosty's always beside you, right? In the training.
You got me there. Yeah.
He's not here. He's not here. All right.
No.
Yeah, so go for it. I'll just sit back. I'll mute myself, but I'll jump in maybe if and when there are any questions or anything like that. But you go ahead, George. Really appreciate this.
Okay. Yeah. So always be prepared. It's something that we've talked about here just already. Just what action are you looking to do? What is your task at hand? Decision making, staying ahead of certain scenarios. Just like James says, I always like to talk to the interns and my assistant trainer, the other people around me, our minor league trainers, just about what's their thought process, just staying ahead of stuff. So if a pitcher, if we're in the middle of a game and a pitcher gets hit in the throat with a line drive and he's down on the ground gasping for air, what are you going to do? And I ask you guys that right now. If I ask you to take if I ask James to take one person off mute so they could explain to me what they would do if something like that happened, the steps that they would take, could you do that? Right? Always in those situations, it's always confusing, and I think there's not one injury situation where it's completely calm. There's always a referee. There's always somebody who's going to want to try to sway you, help out, things like that. But just stay confident, especially if you're unsure of yourself. But just go back to what you know and do what you know and stay safe. So being confident, being bulletproof. I love to use that word bulletproof because you go in and nothing can shake you. So, but at the very end, there self-evaluation at the very end is huge. Just because you have to. That's how you're going to advance. That's how you're going to get better. So, what are you going to do? Okay. I love bringing this scenario up to people. If the game's going on and you have 2 minutes to work on someone, right? And that player is either, say, a football player, he comes off, you have 4 downs to make his hamstring feel less tight. What would be your go-to? Would it be soft tissue? Would you massage him? Would you do some static stretching? Would you do some ART? Stuff like that. So those are things just in your mind. A good athletic trainer is just ready to go. Always think outside the box. And usually with the team, the athletic therapist, the athletic trainer is the person that they go to for answers. Always be prepared to give an answer. And if you don't know that answer, stay confident and just tell them, I'll get back to you on it. Okay. But stay with what you know. It has gotten me out of so many jams. I still remember a player getting injured, high profile player, years ago with the Toronto Blue Jays. And it was spring training. He hurt his elbow, multi-million-dollar player, comes in the training room, and I'm evaluating his elbow, just going through all the exam. And our team president's there. One of the owners was there. Our general manager was there. And it was me and the player. And our doctor was not in the building yet. He was on his way. So they're all looking at me. You're on the spot. There's nowhere to hide. And that's where you just got to stick to those basics of your evaluation. You got to just block out who's in the room and just stay bulletproof. I felt so confident there going through that and then giving them my probable thought. Okay. I would say don't ever go out on that limb and say, hey, I think you've torn your ACL. I think you've torn your UCL and I think you need Tommy John surgery. You'll know in your mind, but going through that evaluation, you'll learn and you'll probably get a good sense of this already. Just from a good history, you can pretty much have an idea of what's going on. So history, observation, palpation, active and passive ranges, strength testing, the special testing. I'm telling you, I could be 90 years old and somebody asked me that, and I remember that the rest of my life. So it's something that just gives you a lot of really good confidence. Being around good athletic trainers too, and people that are willing to help you out has a lot to say for it as well. So again, check yourself, self-evaluation. I just wrote down about five or six things there. So physical exam, the SCAT testing, spine board. No one knows it better than Lorianne. She can talk circles around me as far as that goes. We always have our paramedics do it, but I'll tell you one thing: if I'm ever alone, I'm well versed on it. I feel very comfortable putting someone on a spine board. Do you? Can you honestly say that you are right now? CPR, AED. Okay, just being ready, getting your certification, then your recertification. My biggest thing with recertification, it's always like, well, can you just sign off for me? Can we just pay our money and just get the extra card? I'm not that guy. I want to go through that training one more time. I want to go through it because I've had some experiences where it has hit home. One of our minor league athletic trainers, we were messing around once during a CPR recertification, and this one athletic trainer, very close friend of mine, he was doing CPR, and it was funny. We were all laughing and everything. Did what we needed to do, but 3 days later, he's walking with his little kids, and a lady had a diabetic coma and hit his little son, 6 years old, and he still says today, he says, I remember messing around in that class and laughing, but 3 days later I was doing it on my own son. So it's just it hits home sometimes with situations like that, but just know that you should always take these things serious and always be prepared and be ready to give an answer. So no one is ever gonna make fun of you, or you're never gonna be the oddball standout if you do what's right and trying to make yourself bulletproof and prepared. And of course, the last thing I write there is, are you ready? So at this point, I have a bunch of pictures that I was going to go through. James, is that all right, or should we go to questions? What do you think?
Hey, no, this is your time, man. Let's go through the pictures. I love seeing this.
Okay,
this is
great.
And
great.
And maybe just to swing back around to some of the stuff you said, I think this skill set, although not practiced often, should probably be built in. And we've touched on this a couple times on some of the previous chats as well. I think the history taking, coming back around to evaluation, like history taking could be a full year course in first year athletic training, athletic therapy, just to get the right questions instead of making it, not necessarily just a checklist of questions, but actually some deep penetrating questions that are going to get you a little bit more value in terms of what your rehab is going to look like, in terms of who you're going to refer to, and these kinds of things. And then your skill set with the CPR and AED and spine boarding, you never know when you're going to have to use it. And I think that's such a skill that we own and have and take for granted until you need to use it. And we had a scenario. I had a scenario down here first time. Just this past fall, and I jumped out of the car and entered a scene that I don't think anybody would ever want to enter. And I just kind of did it because of the skill set that was in place and because of the number of times I've been through the practice. And again, I'm similar to you. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I never thought I'd have to use it until the second that I heard that I had to use it. And then I jumped in to try and do my best to help. And there's very much all of the things you talked about, reflecting and self-evaluating on, did I do what I could? And you're never feeling like you did enough, but having a bunch of other people come up to you and say, you did something that nobody else would do, and these kinds of things. So these are all very, very real situations. And I really appreciate you touching on all these, George. I think they're crucial, and having you say them and not just say them, but live them is massive. So yeah, please do.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, jump in.
Great. Yeah, speaking at venues like this, when I'm asked to speak, I've noticed the students like a lot of pictures. So Lorianne, you may have seen a bunch of these already, but in 2009, I was the American League All-Star trainer for the American League team. It was a great time, one of the best times of my life. So here's the team picture here. Just want to see if you guys saw any Tampa Bay Rays in there. You see any? Anyway, that was a joke. Everyone can laugh. Okay. So Jay Happ, if you're Blue Jays fans, you probably saw this years ago. Jay Happ pitcher threw a pitch, and a line drive came back and hit him on his left ear, tore off his earlobe, and he actually, when he fell, he tore his PCL as well, but came back fine and is doing great. So that was not a good day. That happened in Tampa there. That's the Toronto training room. So that's where we do treatments there. There's our machines, and very, very clean, nice area. 2014, this was our team picture. Carlos Delgado, back in the day, always told me, whenever you do a team picture, make sure that you smile, because it either might be your last one, and it's only what one of 30 people can experience. So right there is a smile on their face to this moment, to this year. So I thought this was interesting. I took this picture. They're taking I believe it was a Marlins player off the field sideline in the back of this ambulance. I thought it was interesting. So you see all kind of things that you haven't seen before. That's a hyperbaric chamber that we have in our training room for recovery. The player in there giving the peace signs. Cupping, the Michael Phelps treatment, made it very popular here in the U.S. when Michael Phelps was swimming and had those cupping marks all over his body. So a lot of players come in and ask for cupping and the myofascial abrasion, A-stim type treatment, scraping, and we'll have them stand up and do movements while those cups are on as well. But pretty much a benign treatment, but you really still need to pay attention, just because they do leave marks on the skin. You just want to be careful. There's no blisters that form, and then there's a pitcher threw a pitch and hit him in the rib cage. So we just thought it was interesting the next day what it looked like.
Yeah, a little solar system happening.
Yeah. This is kind of cool here. We're exposed to the MRI imaging. So this player had hamstring issues, and we did an MRI. And during these MRIs, they pick up all kind of things. So I know nobody can really respond, but there is one incidental finding in there. Can you see it I'll point it out in a second here, but you'll find nodules. You'll find things in bone, and we were looking here in the hamstring muscles on both sides, and the hamstrings actually look good, but incidental finding, the doctor said there's this little bone tumor, and it's called an enchondroma, and we found that this is somewhat normal in people. He did have it followed up and ended up being normal, and it's this thing called an enchondroma, and he ended up being fine. Would I have ever heard of that? Have I ever heard of an No, I never have. So things that you see in your experience, you file them away in your memory bank, and you just remember them, look them up. Google's great too. So I just thought that was very interesting there. You see them in shoulders too. They're kind of scary, to be honest, because you don't want something to be a bone cancer and things like that. So here's a mallet finger, avulsion fracture of the extensor tendon here in a player. He was diving back into first base and jammed his finger, and sure enough, he couldn't straighten his DIP joint out. So this was the surgery for it. Those are pins that are going in, pinning the bone together, extending the finger, and they put these balls on the end of the pins, and he has to wear that around for 6 weeks. He bumped it a few times. We have to clean around here. So it was very tough to manage just that big external fixation. There's the x-ray of it. So you see the balls here, and then you see the pins coming in right through the fragment, just fixating it there perfectly. And he healed perfect. He healed great. But it took 6 weeks. There's a closer picture there. This here is a catcher. Do you see what's wrong here? You see anything concerning here? So I know you guys can't respond, but if you look closely at his index finger, you see how there's little to no circulation there. This player was a catcher, and that's his catching hand. So his index finger gets beat up a lot. And usually the baseball players have played from little kids. So it's a lot of acute on chronic stuff that's just been brewing for years. And sure enough, he developed this ischemic type movement, ischemic problem where he would lose circulation in his finger. He would put that in a whirlpool, hot whirlpool, for maybe two minutes, and it would look completely normal. Also, there's this thing called Berger's syndrome, Berger's disease, I believe, and it comes from using tobacco, smokeless tobacco, and it decreases the vascularity in your fingers and toes. So something to think about. So here's some dry needling acupuncture technique of a pitcher laying on his side and getting that done to his shoulder. Here is an elbow fracture. So this pitcher threw a pitch and fractured his olecranon, the tip of his elbow. So they went in, they put a plate and screws in here to fixate it. This pitcher throws about 97 miles an hour, and he continues to pitch today with all the hardware in there. Very interesting. Wow. Another good mentor of me with the Cleveland Browns. He told me, he said, don't ever blow off an injury. Don't ever blow things off. If it gets busy all day, don't blow off an injury. Meaning, if a guy comes in and says, "Hey man, I think I have some athlete's foot," don't just blow it off and say, hey, there's some spray on the counter. You use that and that should be it. Always go take a look at it, and just even if it's a split second, it'll mean a lot to the player. And I think it's just a prudent move for you to follow up. So sure enough, this player came in, told me and Frosty, hey, I kicked my table, my coffee table at home. I need a Band-Aid. So we could have easily said, hey, the Band-Aids are over there on the counter. But sure enough, went over, looked, and sure enough, this guy had a laceration in there, and it required like 4 or 5 stitches. So here's another example of the cupping and the erythemic pattern of the cups. One of our older doctors had never seen cupping before. He was doing his physical exam, and he thought this guy had some kind of bad disease. It was hilarious. All right. Does anyone recognize what that is? That is a coach's belly. That is an umbilical hernia. That was fixed, and it looked completely normal. Okay, so this was a player for the Blue Jays, shortstop, veteran guy. We got him from the Phillies, best human being. So we actually were playing the Braves during spring training, and there was a little pop fly right over the shortstop's head, going into left field, and the left fielder was coming in hard. Shortstop was going out hard, and the left fielder was not going to get to it. So the shortstop dove. So as he dove, he caught the ball with his outstretched arm and was able to tuck his arm into his body and landed right on the tip of his shoulder. So what's that mechanism tell you, right? That mechanism there just paints the picture for a fractured clavicle. So that's the first view of the X-ray. Really don't see much. You see a little in the middle there, but then you do an oblique view and you see this thing is just completely off. So it just really displaced there, and that's the fixation there. So I think it was what was it, 4, 5, 6, 8 screws. Excuse me. And he healed great, did great. Great person, good human. He was an older player, so he played for a few more years and then retired. But he was good after that. Still has the plate in. So good guy. We'll skip that one. Okay, this was a guy that maybe 15 minutes before this picture, he was running the first base. He's a pitcher, and there was a ground ball to the first baseman, and he was running the first to cover first base, and he caught the ball and just rolled his ankle, inverted his ankle, and this thing blew up like that in 15 minutes. So he ended up doing fine. But this was a large pitcher. He was 6'4", 280 some pounds. So this here's a medial epicondyle screw. So many times the whoops, I'm sorry. Well, I'll talk about that. Many times the medial epicondyle is a non-union, and the non-union just stays there, and it actually can become an avulsion fracture. So the flexor pronator group attaches right to that medial epicondyle. So the treatment for it is to put a screw in, and it just stays there his whole career. So you see that a lot in adolescents too. This was a guy again said, hey, I had some new cleats today. I was running and I had a little blister. Can you check it out? I checked this thing out, And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this looks terrible. So we put a line around it with a marker just to see how big, because the redness was contained there, we wanted to see the next day if the redness was outside that line. Very common practice for infections like that. And sure enough, this turned into MRSA. He had to go to the hospital. One thing I'm failing to tell you, this was the second thing he told me about. First thing he did, he walked in. He didn't tell anybody about this. He walked in and he says, "Hey, my groin is killing me." And so I went to his groin and I was feeling around, and sure enough, I felt his lymph nodes enlarged. And when I would push on him, it felt hot up near his groin, and it just really hurt him. And sure enough, I said, "Do you have an infection anywhere? Do you have a cut somewhere, ingrown hair, something?" And sure enough, he says, "Well, I have this little blister from my new cleats." And that's how it presented to us. Very interesting. Don't overlook anything and be complete. Excuse me. We modified this helmet here. That green stuff, it is actually Kevlar, bulletproof material that we are now putting into catchers, hitters, masks. I'm sorry, masks too, but catchers' helmets for the foul tips. Most ignored injury in baseball is the foul tip to the catcher and the umpire. Multiple blows to the head throughout the game. This is when we won the National League East division. Just pouring some champagne, happy there.
You're running away from the party, George.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm the most boring person there, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's our medical staff there. That's Frosty here, our team doc, and another athletic trainer. It's in our hallway. We are at Dodger Stadium, about to play the Dodgers, and that's our whole medical staff there. Mark Scapatici's here. I don't know if you guys know Scap. He's from Niagara Falls. He travels with us now and just helps us out with ART and acupuncture and things. Canada Day in Canada. Can't remember what year, but if you look real close for the bald head, you'll see it there. But times like this, I just during the national anthem, I'll just get goosebumps, and I'm just that guy. So that gets too sentimental sometimes. So Frosty loves to take pictures in every ballpark. So Frosty took these pictures here, Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium, or I'm sorry, Fenway Park in Boston. That's inside the Big Green Monster in Boston. So we thought that was a cool picture. People going there, write their names on the wall, and just kind of cool to be inside their history. These are two of the Molina brothers. Their brother. So there's three Puerto Rican brothers. They're all major league catchers. Yadier Molina is the catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. Benji and Jose are retired now. Benji's a coach for Anaheim. Good people. You get to meet some cool people. Does anyone recognize this guy? So that's Kenny Chesney, country singer. He came by. We threw some eye black on him, and he played catch. Took some batting practice. So that was a fun treat to have him there. This was Lorianne. I don't know if you remember this picture, but we were in Anaheim, and this tall guy walked in. He's no one famous. He was just tall, so we just thought we'd take a picture with him. So no big deal there, but tall guy. The 2009 All-Star game. The Oakland A's trainer, along with myself, were the two trainers. So we're taking a picture. Funny story. Him and I came up together in the San Diego Padres organization. So it was just kind of ironic that we both were named the American League training staff on the same year. We are very, very close friends. That year, Aaron Hill, our second baseman, and then Roy Halladay, our pitcher, were named to the team that year. Great time, great picture. Excuse me. Of course, there's Roy choking me out, just joking around, of course. I think I was telling him to not throw too hard or something to save his arm, and he got mad at me. So there's Reed Johnson, one of our players. He was cutting his hair, and he stopped halfway through and said, "Hey, man, this kind of looks like you." So I'm not hearing any laughing because everyone's muted. So I don't know that I would hear laughing.
Yeah, there's plenty.
So there's this thing in the finger called the A4 pulley. Have you guys heard of it? So I have. It took me a while to figure out what this thing was. I had never heard of it coming up until two of my players had the injury. So we made up this little tape job, and this got this player through. So you get to experiment with some pretty good, pretty interesting injuries that you can try some things on and think outside the box. There's that mallet finger again. We got a few other pictures of that. Close up right there. He had to walk around with that for 6 weeks. Crazy. Okay, does everyone see the fracture there? Fifth metacarpal, mid shaft. It was a player just before batting practice at Fenway Park. He was talking to his friend who was on the other team, and he was just talking, and someone yelled "heads up," and the ball hit him right in the hand. And he came in and just kind of handed us his hand and said, "Hey, check me out. I just got hit with a ball." Sure enough. So this ended up needing surgery. Excuse me. So you can see the fracture line in here, and the two screws go all the way through, fixating it. But he ended up doing fine, doing great. This was a catcher for us. We were at Yankee Stadium, and the team doctor for the Yankees always likes when I show this because I always pump them up. But catcher, so it was his catching hand, and it was a foul tip in the middle of the game, and the foul tip hit him right in the edge of the nail, pulled this thing back, pulled his skin down, and it just was a gash there. So of course he was taken out of the game. We x-rayed him. It was normal, the x-ray. So the team doc just took sutures and went from his nail bed all the way up through the nail, right through the nail, and just sutured it down, and healed fine, looks fine. 4 weeks he was good to go. Crazy. I just thought this looked really cool. Excuse me. Does anyone know what this is here? Other than a bad toe?
I recognize that, I think.
Don't say it. Oh boy, I hit it by mistake. I don't know how. Here I can go back. I can see these. No, I can't see. I just messed everything up. But that was a bunion. So he did get surgery on that, and now his toe is straight. But that player was known as one of the top 1 and 2 in Major League Baseball during his career as being the fastest guy in Major League Baseball with those toes. Crazy. This is another pitcher that got hit with a line drive. And the interesting thing about this was, it's a bruise. It's kind of cool. But the main reason we took the picture was this kind of looks like a unicorn. a little bit. So we took that picture, and we thought it was kind of cool there. So. And again, no laughter because everyone's muted. So, James, do you want to see if everyone's awake, or are we good? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been checking. There's lots of laughter.
All right, great. This is one of our diabetic pictures, right shoulder. That's his bicep, and he threw a pitch, line drive right back at him, hit him right there in the biceps, and he came in the next day like that. So.
And it's a good thing you had some ice there.
Yes.
An entire thing back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We captured that one nicely.
Very nice. Wait a minute. What's that? Oh, the ice. That. Okay. I got you.
Yeah. You were prepared.
Can you see my mouse or no?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, next. Get to see some cool things. So this is a plantar fascia rupture. Okay, that's part of it there. And that's the other part. So this is all blown up here. So if people with plantar fasciitis, when they get surgery to release their plantar fascia, that's what they're actually doing in the surgery. They actually cut it and release it. So this player had the injury. We had to assist him off the field. He was a shortstop for the Blue Jays at the time, and actually was pain-free in like 3 or 4 days. Excuse me. So couldn't play, but in 3 or 4 days he was walking normal. So we just got him back to running and playing speed and was good. And again, you get to see some cool X-rays or cool imaging studies. So this is an MRI to an elbow, and this has partial to full thickness tear of the ulnar collateral ligament. So right here is the medial epicondyle. This here is the sublime tubercle. Technically, this is supposed to be rounded nicely, but because the throwers have a lot of traction on their flexor pronator and their ligament, that thing gets spiked sometimes. So that ligament, this is supposed to be a black line straight, okay? This person's is flipped off, and you see maybe there's a little strand here holding. So this player ended up pitching the rest of his career, about maybe 10 more years. Excuse me, with a partially torn UCL. Most pitchers, if you MRI them or do any kind of imaging, you'll find all kind of asymmetries and abnormalities, but they still work through that. Okay. Let me see here. Sorry about that. There it is. Yeah. So this is a hitter. Okay. Right-handed thrower. That's the back of his olecranon. So you see two fragments there, two loose bodies, and a little spike. So he played the entire season with this, hurting all year, and then at the end of the season, they went in and did the surgery. So this is a CT scan, a regular CT scan. There's also a CT scan with something called 3D reconstructions that they're doing now. Excuse me. So this is a CT scan with 3D reconstruction. So it's actually like a textbook. So they did them, and that's right where the fragments are. It's just really cool how you can see the anatomy there on those 3D reconstructions. We won the American League East again last year, and Dallas Keuchel, who's been through a ton of injury stuff, got through. He was our starting pitcher for game one. He was great. This is, let's see. Oh no, this is not. Yeah. So here's the player that tore his plantar fascia. Being assisted off the field. Just things to be ready for. This is an umpire that got knocked unconscious from a backswing. And he was just laying there. We had the spine board him. Our team doctor, Dr. Jason Smith, is right here. Our paramedics. And of course, the Texas trainer, you can barely see him here, is helping me out. So that was not a very good day. But again, as soon as this was over, went to the training room. When that game's over, Frosty and I, the dust is settling. It's just me and him sitting in the training room after, just reevaluating how could we have done better. what could we do next time that might be better? So walking off the field with a player that was injured. That's AJ Burnett from years ago. He ended up being fine. Edwin Encarnacion, we were in Tampa. He was running to first base and felt a large explosion in his quad. And Frosty and I had to walk him off the field here. You get to meet some cool people. So we went and saw the Navy SEALs, and they let us hold some weapons, which I was a little nervous. Frosty's kind of acting cool, and this guy's acting cool, but they're actually scared. So I grabbed the bazooka. This is the first Canadian on the moon. I forget his name. Any quizzes for extra credit? I'm sorry, I forget his name, but that's Frosty, and he came into the training room, so Frosty couldn't wait to get a picture of him. So still, you get to meet some cool people. So Geddy Lee from Rush came by, of course, representing Canada again, but he ended up being around a lot. Good guy. Excuse me. These are my three daughters. Years ago, they sang the national anthem on Father's Day. I always throw that one in there. There's some other highlights here. Yeah, this is our training staff in Boston when we clinched back in 2016. That was not the year of the backflip. And again, you get to meet some cool people. So during the All-Star game, President Obama came in, so got to meet him there. That was definitely a highlight. So quick story here. So we knew Obama was coming in. So I'm holding two cameras here, mine and the other trainer. So earlier I had mentioned to you that him and I have history. We're very close friends. So the deal was, when Obama shakes my hand, you take a picture of me and I'll reciprocate. I'll do the same thing for you, right? So he shook his hand, okay? And I took the picture. It was great, right? He's filming me taking pictures with his thing. This camera is not on, guys. This camera is not on. I was so mad. It was crazy. We were laughing for forever, but luckily one of the other cameramen was taking this shot here, so they got it to me. But that's the end of the pictures that I brought there. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So
what a slideshow! So just the number of things that you've seen in your career, in terms of preparation, some of the innovation with the technology, and just looking at images and understanding what those images are. These aren't things that we practice on a regular basis, but once you're in it, you sort of have to know all of these things. So it rang out a lot. And Chris Hadfield is the answer to your question.
Oh, Chris Hadfield. All right. Yes.
I think the majority. I know the majority of people on here are Canadian. So from now on, he's also written a book, which is amazing. It's like a kid's story. It's called we have it. I don't know, Dark something.
Really?
It's kind of a cool little story. But that's Chris Hadfield. Your story's way better than that Chris Hadfield book. I'll say.
I'm scrolling through the people now. It looks like people are awake. So So we're good.
They are, yeah. If they weren't, they are now. And but no, honestly, George, I think we didn't really have a plan in terms of where this was going to go in terms of a dialogue or a discussion. But just being able to see what you've seen and have you present that, it certainly echoes your sentiment about being prepared for anything, and understanding the little bits. And if you don't know what where the sublime tubercle is, go be George's intern, and on day 3 you'll know where the sublime tubercle is and what its function and purpose in a thrower is, and you'll never ever forget it. And then you'll start pointing it out on your 5-year-old and being like, you know what this is? Just keep this healthy right here if you want to throw a baseball, so yeah. But all of the behind the scenes stuff too, there's some questions that rolled in. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but you have a favorite ballpark?
I'm asked that a lot. I love Anaheim Stadium, Dodger Stadium. Love them out there. Out west, the grass is just different. It's just groomed perfectly. It's great. Yeah. So I would say out west would be great. I'm from Cleveland. So I really like that ballpark. So I'm a little biased there. So that doesn't count, but the West Coast for sure.
Yeah. Right on. And how about a favorite training room besides the one that you're in now or in Atlanta? You have one
we're in visiting training rooms throughout the year, of course. The Atlanta clubhouse, it's a brand new stadium, Truist Park. It's beautiful, state of the art. It's awesome. Toronto was great too. The Rogers Center is great. The only problem in the Rogers Center, we could not have an exercise pool just because the parking lot is underneath us and it's too heavy. Excuse me. So I would say visiting Tampa is very good visiting, and I would say now Houston's very good. So those two I'd say are very good.
Yeah, awesome. Have you noticed anything in terms of transition from the American League to the National League? Any difference? Or pretty much you're all right? I mean, I know
just more stress. I feel like I'm gonna have heart palpitations when pitchers are hitting. That's for sure. So, but that's it. Yeah. The game just seems a little different without the designated hitter. But I worry about the pitchers a lot, just tweaking something just because they're so active throughout the game.
Yeah,
it's crazy how I have been asked so many times, how does someone strain their oblique? Why does someone strain their oblique? It's like the mystery injury. And the old adage is a 6-week oblique. So when someone asks me, how long is it going to take for this player to get back from this oblique injury? I tell them, just get ready for 6 weeks, because this is not a quick injury, and it's just tough. So.
Yeah, one of those ones that it doesn't really have any rhyme or reason. Sometimes they're running, sometimes they're swinging, sometimes they're throwing, and just for whatever reason, tough one. We talked a little bit with Frosty and Boone about sort of being under the gun to get guys back a little bit quicker than physiologic response would allow for. We know that injury and tissue takes a little bit longer than the timelines you guys have to work with. So being under the gun a little bit and pushing guys along is always a bit of an issue. I think it'll be an interesting, it's interesting times right now, and we're not going to get into it, but this whole, extended time off away from each other and then getting back in together, hopefully in the near future, you gotta ramp them back up again. So it'll be a whole new learning experience for you guys as well, even having 31 years in the game. I think it'll be, I guess we take it as a positive, an opportunity to learn something new and do some stuff with it. So, diving in behind the green monster. I don't think too many people have done that. So now we talk with you. So we appreciate you taking us on the tour and all these things. If anybody has any questions, just pop them in here real quick. I'm not going to keep George too long. He's got Tiger King to go watch if he hasn't finished it yet.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah. No, I just feel like just everything that you guys do from here on out to your graduation, I would just gear yourself toward the real world, toward real life, toward being held accountable. Hold yourself accountable, because your coaches, your doctors, your employers will do that. So I think the more that you can get in front of somebody, professors, a mentor, and just ask them to just watch you evaluate a shoulder. Just don't be embarrassed. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not know, but it's better to go through an evaluation on any body part confidently. And here we go again, being bulletproof, because the other way makes you look terrible. Soft touch, like during your palpation, I don't know, am I touching the right thing? No, go in there, get your hands dirty, do what you know, okay? Even if it's a 4-minute eval, it doesn't have to be a half-hour eval. Just do what you know confidently, and then branch off from there. But don't ever stop striving to learn, self-evaluate yourself, and get better.
Yeah, awesome.
Huge.
Yeah, we just run with these last two questions, and Lorianne is one of them, just to stump you. Worst injury with the best outcome that you've seen in your career?
Let's see. I think our catcher slid into second base and took a knee to the forehead, and his head slapped back, hit the ground. He was knocked unconscious. He had smokeless tobacco in, so we had to take that out. But he actually completely crumbled his C4 vertebrae, but the vertebral body itself was still contained. It was fractured, but it was still intact. Wow. So the cord was not getting hit, but the vertebral bodies, spinous process, they were all fractured off, and he ended up doing great. He ended up coming back 6 to 8 weeks, doing fine. So.
Yeah, that's a scary one for sure. And anybody who doesn't know George, the face he's making right now is the same face that he made when that injury happened. He's just Mr. Consistent. It's amazing. It's such a skill that not too many people have, is to not freak out and to not say, when I see this in a bone on an MRI, I don't want the player to know any different. If I think it's the worst thing in the world or I think it's nothing, the ability to stay right on that middle level and consistent every day in terms of the way you walk into the park, the way you walk out of the park, the way you talk to everybody and say hello to everybody. Just consistency is definitely a key to your success that you may not admit to, but certainly in observing and learning from you, that was one definite key takeaway that amazing. There's one quick question from a baseball guy out in Calgary, just asking for recommendations for post-throwing recovery, either same day or next day. It can be fairly general, like what would you do, and it's going to come down to position and how much they're throwing and these kinds of things. But is there a good program or a good set of standards that you would say for when somebody's done throwing, let's say pitching, when they're done pitching, same day and then the following day?
Yeah, what do you mean by just exercise program? Their routine? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, so it's a fairly big, recovery. Yeah, what's being used, or what generally speaking, what would you do?
Yeah, so when a pitcher comes off, taking them through a range of motion, doing one set, 1 to 2 sets of any kind of scap work. Just because if you think about it, when someone's throwing this way a million times throughout their warm-ups, their game, they're doing a lot of things going forward. Okay, so what our thinking is do back stuff. So when you do a lot of things forward, the humeral head translates anteriorly. So you want to bring it back into joint. So that's why we do scapular work versus pushing type exercises. PNF does work, strengthening, manual strengthening. Our strength coaches, we've moved to some Indian clubs, just experimenting with those on pitchers. Not a lot of guys do those, but some do. But yeah, mainly scapular work after the first day. Second day, range of motion, pre and post playing catch, and some kind of soft tissue work, some massage or ART. Some pitchers we throw some dry needling in there. I personally do not do dry needling. I'm not certified in that, but our other athletic therapists or trainers who do that take them through that, and it seems to work pretty good for them.
Yeah, good stuff. One more for you, George.
That's fine. If there's 10 more, it's fine.
Okay. All right. If you got time, that's great. Favorite continuing education course that you've taken, maybe in the recently or whatever, one that jumps out at you, or the topic of the course that you recall. I think that's a great question.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I can't not say it. ASMI, that course every year. The American Sports Medicine Institute. It's run out of Pensacola, Florida, through Dr. James Andrews. That course is by far, I feel one of the best courses in baseball. There's also a baseball injuries course out of New York with Dr. Chris Ahmad that I've been to. Both of those are very similar, but I would favor. Well, I really wouldn't favor either of them. I think they're both great. So those two courses I think are outstanding.
Yeah. So ASMI by Dr. Andrews, just for those of us that are Canadian or may not be familiar, is it's essentially like a conference for baseball athletic trainers, and they talk about a multitude of issues. Training load, injury management. The one year I was there, one of the years they talked about pitch count in the amateur level athlete. They had cadaver labs. Like, it's just all encompassing, a great little venue for a whole bunch of topics. Here's a good question. You don't have to get into details with it. How have you learned to deal with the issues that accompany professional athletes in terms of how injuries affect, contracts, contract negotiations, things like that? How do you stay, I guess the question is kind of like, how do you stay in your lane? How do you sort of not get involved with that stuff and keep it a professional?
Yeah, no, you just stay out of those personal matters. I simplify it in stressful times and in confusing times. Something that helps me get through those, even in life, is just to simplify things. And the way I simplify that is just to stay out of them. I always wondered why in our therapy courses they made us take psychology courses, and I hated every one of my psychology courses. But now I think there should have been more. So I stay out of those personal things, and then just work on the psychology side, just keeping them positive, changing up exercises, doing something new, giving them a day off. If somebody had a rough night, said his kid was sick all night and he was up all night with his son or daughter, hey, you got the day off. That goes such a long way. The other thing too that I wanted to mention, not to get off that question, is I noticed a lot of the young therapists and a lot of the young physical therapists, physios as well, strength coaches, when there's an injury, they're very quick to jump right into activity quickly, and not a lot of thought is put in. They preach recovery, and keep an eye on this as you go through your career here. But just remember this, and I would say, as you go on, this kind of a large statement, but if you didn't hear anything I said tonight, I would say the one thing is, as you move on and as you become a head athletic trainer or make programs, I would always consider, when that injury happens, give that thing 24, 48 hours, even 72 hours of just some modalities to control the pain, control the swelling. Then after those 3 days, then start working on increasing strength, increasing range of motion. Because too many times now, I see it many times, it just seems like it's the fad going, where if you don't do an exercise, then you're doing something wrong to the athlete. So So that kind of flavor is going on right now. It seems like so I would just caution you, or just put it in your mind as an option for the 2-3 day recovery period, and then start all your isometrics and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think going back to some of the foundational principles is always sound advice, and we had rice, and then ice became a thing that's not really preached anymore. But I think that the new one that we can all lean on is certainly rest is best, in times of injury. Like just back off. You don't need to do something right away to justify existence. It's a matter of treating the human, treating the injury, respecting the process as well. So definitely great advice on that end.
Yeah, got that too. The head athletic trainer for the Denver Broncos, good friend of mine. His name is Steve Antonopoulos.
Not a Greek guy though.
No, Greek guy. Steve, his nickname's Greek. He's one of those athletic trainers that's looked upon as one of the level-headed guys that when there's a serious problem going on, he's the guy that you would call for advice, just because he remains so level-headed, and he's very confident in what he does. So that just watching him as I came up as well just really helped me get to where I am. But of course, I'm learning every day, and of course I'm in my later years of course, but there's no way that I'm going to be that guy that no one can tell me any different, and I can't learn anything. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. What are you reading right now? Are you reading anything that's not professionally driven, let's say? Anything?
No, I actually there's a real skinny book. It's by Hoppenfeld. It's an older book, and it's a neuro book though. It's a neuro book. It's not the green examination one, but this neuro book, he breaks it down so simple. And I just, from time to time, I'll just open it up. It takes maybe a few hours to just kind of thumb through, and it's just a thin little book, and yeah.
Yeah, good one. Here's one. I just keep pulling stuff out because it's just handy, but like this is one that I go to all the time. It's just like a pocket guide to MSK assessment. It's just like flip through, open a page, put your finger on it, and then see if you can define it in yourself. I don't know. There's a lot of geeking out going on, but the latest book I've read, in case you haven't read it, is Happy Easter, Curious George. Just read it this evening. It's it might be an award winner.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
wait. Let me scroll through to see if all your students are smiling. Wow, everyone's smiling here.
There's good jokes. There's good jokes here, George. Definitely, I'll pass along the book names. Curious George, Happy Easter, Curious George. But definitely, I'll put up all the resources that we've talked about this evening in the discussion component of the YouTube channel. So don't fret there. I always go back through these and make some additional notes. Put some highlights, some authors, articles, these kinds of things in, so that if and when you go back and archive, you can grab them. Not a problem at all. Yeah. There are any final questions for George? We're pushing this. I know it's this is like, I don't know. It's 9:15. You guys start at what's your start time in Atlanta typically on a home night? 7:05 or 8:05?
7:35. Believe it or not.
Okay, 7:35.
Yeah.
So we're in the bottom of the second inning right now. So you got lots of time. We're just prepping you coming up.
So I don't know. Can we do this? Can each person on this call just briefly tell me where they want to work?
Yeah, where you want to work, or
what their career choice is?
Yeah,
college, clinical. Do they want to own their own clinic? Yeah. Professional baseball, football, hockey, or whatever it is. Quickie?
Yeah, maybe just type them in so we don't get a bunch of people.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Just type in the chat box to everyone. That's a great starting point. Another starting point. Yeah, so there's a bunch of people in various capacities currently. Some are in the colleges and the university setting. Some are students coming out that are looking very much at professional sports. Some are in professional sports. You have a CPL trainer in the Canadian Professional Soccer League. We have some distinguished athletic therapists that have a bunch of years. Nobody's typing anything in right now. I don't know if we're scared, but I'll just say
that's fine. That's fine.
I'll just start. When you retire, I'm in. So I wrote that one. I'll start it. I'll take George's job when he's done. One person said, Team Canada, anything. Oh, it's going fast now. Own exclusively shoulder and elbow clinic. Represent Canada as you can read these. I'll just read them for you.
Awesome. Yeah. I just clicked that chat thing, so I see them all. That's great. Yeah. That's great.
We have some varsity therapists on here. Youth athlete development. We've had a lot of discussion on here, George, about youth athlete development and a place in. You and I talked about athletic therapy in Canada versus ATCs in the U.S. a little bit, and we're sort of trying to drive through this platform as well, a little bit more awareness in Canada as to what the athletic therapy profession is and what we can do. And I think there's a huge huge market, I don't want to say market, but market for athletic therapy in amateur sport where we can have a ton of impact, just education, treatment, preparedness, innovation to what's going on, these kinds of things. So Lorianne's looking to play, it looks like, wheelchair rugby at some point. I don't know if that means play or not. She maybe wants to work with them as well. Wheelchair rugby. That's So the reason I wanted to hear at least most of them is I failed to mention when I was in college, I mass produced my resume. I mass produced it with one basic cover letter and just mass produced it. Had my resume and cover letter. I sent them out to every professional hockey, NFL team, NBA team, because I knew I wanted to be in professional sports at some point. My goal was to become a head athletic trainer for an NBA team, NFL team. So I got a ton of rejection letters, but I did get a handful of offers, internships, and stuff like that. So I still think that works in a sense. So I would definitely just urge the students if they're looking for something. I see Kat said Team Canada, anything, right? So just things like that, I think, would be really good for you guys to try out, even if you get those rejection letters. Every now and then, before I got my major league position, Jenny, my wife, she still has this whole stack of rejection letters. And I remember when I was feeling down about not getting a job, I finally got my job, and then something would happen. I'd be upset for the day, and she would motivate me and say, hey, you see all these rejection letters? This never stopped you. So quit worrying about what's going on there and just overcome it. So I just thought I'd throw those few things out to you guys there. Massive lesson from the best there is.
Yep.
This is how I met George as well. Was my I was in my final year of my undergrad, and I did the exact same thing. I didn't know how internships work. I think PBATS was just sort of beginning when I was coming out, and I wrote a letter to virtually every Major League Baseball team and just said, like, how does this work? I want to do this, but I don't really know how to do this. How do I go about this? And it just so happened that there was a Canadian with the Canadian baseball team that existed when Frosty was with you guys, and this is where it started, was interest and connectedness, just sort of reaching out and putting it out there. So there's definitely a level of of acknowledgement in terms of putting the effort in and reaching out to people to express your interest, for sure. Some really good stuff, George. In terms of the scenarios you've provided and just the slideshow and like I mentioned, the imaging and stuff like that. Athletic therapists in Canada, generally, we don't get access to that if we're working at with a youth team or something like that. But there are physicians out there. There are teams out there that have access to doctors, and these are all educational opportunities that I think go a long way, even just looking at some of those things, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional views, these kinds of things. So really appreciate your time and the effort you
right.
to figure out how to get that up on the screen, because I couldn't help you. I don't know how this thing works.
Yeah.
And then taking us through it. Really, really helpful. Really, really appreciate it.
All right. I appreciate you having me, James, and I appreciate all the students that are on here. Lorianne, Chris, good seeing you guys as well. All right.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, George. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. I hope you get back on the field here in the not too distant future, so that we can all see you lined up on the third base line again, and hopefully touch base in the future as well. So really appreciate your time. Thank you again, George Poulis has been our guest. Let's chat.
Awesome.
Athletic Therapy Roundtable.
Bunch of your students are saying thank you, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's awesome, and you guys are great.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out with us, for putting up with some of my bad jokes. George still owns all the best ones, so appreciate all those too. Anybody who wants to hang out, I'm here for a little bit longer, so feel free to stay on. We can chat a little bit further. Thank you all very much for your time. This has been a pleasure, George, and everybody else. Thank you, and I will wish you good night. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care. See you later.
Thanks again for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this community. Check us out online, firststartherapy.com. That's FIRSTAR therapy.com. Or email us with feedback, consult@firststartherapy.com. CONSULT@firststartherapy.com. On Instagram @firststar.therapy, and our podcast host @letschat.at. This is First Star Let's Chat, an athletic therapy podcast.